Next, we'll move on to public hearings for this evening. We have two different public hearings. And with the first one, it's related to our redistricting effort. So first, I would like to call up our Director of Assessment and Taxation, Joe Nelson. But without further ado, Commissioners, I would ask for a motion to read Ordinance 893 by title only.
Second.
All those in favor of reading by title only, please raise your hand or say aye. Thank you, Commissioners. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously 4-0. Mr. Carr.
Thank you, Chair Harrington. Ordinance 893, an ordinance establishing commissioner district boundaries in accordance with the Washington County Home Rule Charter and repealing ordinance number 806.
Thank you. I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Joe Nelson.
Okay, let's go to next slide, please. One more slide, please. Okay, good evening. My name is Joe Nelson. I'm the, as you said, the Director of Assessment, Taxation, and Elections. And we're at the final steps for reapportionment. Sorry about that. I'd like to do a brief review for anyone who's joining us new for this process. Reapportionment, it's required by the Washington County Charter. It ensures that each of the 4 commissioner districts are roughly of equal population. It's based on the decennial census. It's a 10-year cycle. And what's important to notice is every Washington County resident is represented by a county chair, a commissioner elected by district. These are represented before reapportionment. They're represented after reapportionment. This is our timeline. We've seen this timeline many times as we've gone through the process. I'm going to do a high-level overview of this. As you recall, in February, I was appointed the county official, and I presented a report that where District 2 surpassed the 5% threshold, requiring the reapportionment process. In March, we referred factors to Portland State University for the proposal development. And in these factors, they came from the Secretary of State directive, they came from community engagement, and from this board. Initially, 4 proposals were developed. Proposal number 2 was modified. Proposal 5 was created. And finally, the 5th proposal was modified again to create the final proposal. This final proposal came before the board November 1st for the first reading of Ordinance 893, and that brings us to where we are currently. Community engagement. We had extensive community engagement through the process. Initially, they helped us develop the factors, as I just mentioned. After the options were developed, we had culturally specific engagement events. We had general community engagement events. They were in person, online, and an online survey. This slide is a map of the final proposal. This shows the new boundaries for all 4 commissioner districts. As you may want to note in this, there's a table that actually shows how close these are. It's just over 1% difference. This actually demonstrates the uniformity we'd hope for. This is a successful project. I'd like to take a minute and appreciate our partners. We had Portland State University Population Research Center, Espousal Strategies, Patinkin Research Strategies, Hillsborough School District, Latino Policy Council, Unite Oregon, Adelante Mujeres, Bienestar, Central Cultural, Coalition of Communities of Color, Community Action of Washington County, Muslim Education Trust, Asian Pacific Islander Association of Oregon, and we had our team in alphabetical order: Amanda Garcia Snell, Ben Lee, Brenda Bartlett, Joe Nelson, Marnie Kyle, Marcus Ford, Philip Bransford, Sia Lunsford, Sylvia Preda, Steve March, and Tom Carr. I'd like to do a special thank you to you, this board, our community. We listened to you, we heard you, and the results of this are because of that. And thank you. Back to Tom.
Could I just interrupt? Could we pause there for a second? And I just want to at least clap to thank all of our community members and our staff members for this effort. It was really, it was tremendous. And I want to sing loud and proud of your efforts through this very deliberative, collaborative process. I am just so proud of all of the engagement that you've had, all of the ideas and options that you brought forward to us in really shaping this proposal. So I hope I didn't interrupt your flow, but I'm tickled pink. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Back to you, Tom.
Now we ask the board to open a public hearing and then consider ordinance 893 for adoption after hearing input from the public.
Wonderful, thank you. And with that, I'd like to open a public hearing.
Thank you, Chair Harrington. Did not see anyone sign up in the back of the room. Would any members in the auditorium like to provide public comment on this public hearing now? Mr. Feek, please go ahead.
Dale Feek, Chair Washington County Citizen Action Network. I just want to compliment you and the county staff for what you've done to make things proportional and representative and maybe diverse, and doing a good job.
Thank you, Mr. Feek. Would anyone else in the auditorium like to provide comment? Seeing no one, would any member of our online viewed attendees wish to provide public comment on this public hearing for up to 2 minutes? I'll give you just a moment to utilize the raise hand function. Not seeing any hands, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Clerk Moss. And with that, I will close tonight's public hearing. And now we have ordinance number 893 to consider and for establishing the Commissioner District boundaries in accordance with the Washington County Home Rule Charter and repealing ordinance number 806. Commissioners, do you have any comments or?
I would move for adoption. We've had lots of comments.
Second.
We have,
Second.
thank you. We have a motion from Commissioner Rogers and a second from Commissioner Treese. Roll call, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioner Treese.
Yes.
Commissioner Fye.
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers.
Aye.
Chair Harrington.
Yes. And with that, we have adopted our new reapportionment. Thank you, everyone. I'm just so thrilled.